Okay, so we've heard about Salesforce. Kate and Sharif were talking in the present time, you know, but maybe for a lot of us in the audience here, it's maybe, I hope, near future, but still it's future. So let's come back to present time. I mean, I see a lot of institutions, in general enterprises, but also financial institutions, you know, being at the stage where they send static messages, static newsletters to their customer base. But you at OTP Slovenia are running multi-channel, multi-step, personalized campaigns basically at scale. So how did it happen, Barbara? So where did you start? You know, what were the challenges, maybe some experiments that you were running? Where did marketing cloud as Salesforce solution come into the picture? And maybe, you know, you'll walk us through this journey and the audience can benchmark themselves, so you can ask yourselves where we are on this same journey.
Yes, thank you, Marco. First of all, thank you for having us. So we are happy to present our experience. So actually, to remember where we started, I also had to go a little back in time, and the first beginnings were actually also involving you back almost 10 years. We started with the first actual RFP in one of the previous banks that constitutes today's OTP. We were aiming to implement the CRM tool at that time. However, the project didn't see the light of the day because the bank, during the RFP process, had a change of ownership, which of course triggered a lot of changes, and all of the activities that were not urgent to run the bank were stopped or put on hold. So at that time, I would actually not even call it day one, but more day zero of the CRM. We so-called CRM, what we were doing at that time was fully manual. We had one dedicated FTE not even working full-time. And of course the scope was very small. I actually went back to look at our trackers, and in 2016 we did 15 campaigns in total year. So the scope was very limited, fully manual in all preparation, tracking and everything. So the first step towards actual CRM happened in 2019 when we implemented the first marketing automation tool, which was not Salesforce at the time. However, it did bring us some experience. We were able to start sending automated emailings to a large number of recipients, also SMSs. Part of our work has turned from manual to automated. However, still a lot was manually tracked and reported especially, and also the tool itself was not the best experience. So after sort of a 1-year trial period, we finally got the green light for the management board to implement Salesforce. So this, I have to say, for the team, and also from my experience, was like a little wow moment for us. So the whole new world has opened. So in the last 5 years, we have also grown a lot with the Salesforce, with help of Audicon, of course, by our side. So today, we are actually at the point where we are at large scale, so sending email, SMSs, push notification, Viber messages, doing multi-channel journeys with multi-step decisions, as we will see later on. We also have implemented many automated campaigns, trigger-based campaigns. So activities running without any human touch once they are set up. We have custom-made reporting in Salesforce, so which is also a lot of help. So actually we are, I would have to say, very proud of ourselves. We have also a very strong team in this area currently, so we are now at the point where we are happy with what we have achieved. Of course, we still have a lot ahead of us. But it was a great experience, and it is a great also daily job. So working with Salesforce, it's very smooth and supporting all of our needs.
Okay. Nice to see you smiling. Our cooperation. And if I may add, as you mentioned at the beginning, there was a lot of dynamics in terms of one institution buying the other, changing the branding all the time, and technology and marketing cloud helped quite a lot with merging all these different businesses into one.
Yes. Yes, actually we were just counting now. Before we started today in OTP banka in Slovenia, there are 7 banks formally present in Slovene market, so merged into one. So also in terms of the data and everything, this was quite a project, quite a challenge. Actually, I would say from my personal experience, data beside the people is the crucial part of all of these activities. We have tackled this issue with implementing the first marketing automation tool already. So at that time, actually, so the data, to be honest, at that time in the bank was not organized at all. It was scattered all over the place in different tables, not structured, and so on. For prospects, for example, we even had the data in different Excels on different computers and so on. So far from an optimal situation. So how we tackled the issue at that time, we started by identifying the data that we would need in order to do the automations in the tool. So at that time, we came up with approximately 170 different data fields, data items on the customer level.
Already for the first set of campaigns that you want to run in 2020.
Already at the beginning, yes. So in our DVH team, which today is also very developed and advanced already, but 6 years ago this was not the case. So then it took them approximately 5 to 6 months to build this data model. However, then that helped us a lot when we switched to Salesforce, because this actually the biggest step or the biggest task of the implementation was already done, which saved us a huge amount of time. So this data model is, I would call it a living organism. We are adding data as we go along. Today we are at around 250 different data fields and still adding based on the needs that arise. It is still D-1 data. So today we are doing operations with data as per yesterday. However, the data is organized, structured in one place. It is there what we need. It comes to Salesforce every morning, so it is supporting our activities very good.
And what kind of campaigns and what kind of data was the priority at the beginning? So when we talk, first of all, I need to just confirm that whenever we talk about operational CRM, or especially marketing CRM, bank in the region, this topic of data, this is absolutely number one.
Yes.
Either it's discussion how to connect silos and make a unified profile of customers, or is it about even kind of a hopeless situation sometimes. We just don't have data connected, so we can't do anything meaningful in marketing. So a lot of different topics. But let's say the more actionable way of addressing this topic is where to start really. So because it needs to be connected, what kind of campaigns you want to run and what kind of data you need for it. So what was your approach? Where did you start?
So actually we started looking at the campaigns that we were doing without the tool. Of course, at that time the campaigns were only the calling of the clients, so we didn't send any emails or SMSs upfront to the clients to give them the offers. We actually started from the sales orientation, so which products we wanted to focus on. This was the first step in our activities when we switched to the actual tool. However, as we developed, we got also a huge benefit from the tool, from Salesforce, also in non-sales activities. This is something we have very, very good experience, which is important also maybe for the audience today, for example, in AML area. The bank, due to the historical issues, had a lot of clients with missing data, expired IDs and so on, which became an important topic. So with using all the features of the tool and with the appropriate data, of course, we were able to improve this a lot in the recent 2-3 years. However, maybe going back to the beginning, we started with some simple campaigns. For example, offering consumer loans, offering bundles as cross-sell to the accounts. Also, in terms of automations, important for us were some onboarding processing, onboarding emails. For example, when client is onboarded to the bundle, he's receiving 6 months different notifications. So in terms of the data, we started with basic client data, product ownership, inflows, balances, and so on. And then on top of that, we started adding some transactional data and so on.
And moving from this hard technical part maybe to the other topic that is ever present, and you already mentioned this, is the people and the teams.
Yes.
So if the data would not be the problem, I'm now speaking in a role of a salesperson, we need to have this objection handling strategies always ready. And the two objections in financial institutions are data and the team. The team in terms of, first not having enough people using this kind of technologies, and also not having the right skills. Because what we need to understand, although these kind of solutions are called marketing automation, it doesn't mean, probably you will confirm that marketing runs automatically.
No, it doesn't. Almost.
So yes, skills and the capacity. So when you started building your team 5-6 years ago, what kind of skills did you bring to the team? Was it more like data analysis, or building journeys, or content, or so? What was the let's say the primary focus in this?
So yes, definitely. Besides data, people are crucial in these activities. So in my opinion, now after 5 years of using Salesforce, I would say it has to be the right mixture of marketing skills and technical skills. With technical, however, not meaning IT skills in the real IT sense. So since our department is from the start CRM and analytics, we didn't have any issues with having the analytical part of the knowledge. Marketing honestly was not there at the beginning, but through all the mergers that we have gone through, we did acquire some colleagues with marketing knowledge. And on top of that, we also went to the market to find some appropriate team members with this knowledge. And of course, in the process of building the journeys and the using of the tool, we are working closely together with our marketing team, who is otherwise a separate unit, but supporting us in these activities.
In terms of content?
In terms of content, yeah. In terms of content, in terms of the brand book, creatives, and so on. However, we did improve a lot, I would say, in the last 5 years also in the marketing knowledge in our team. So today we have 4 people in the team, very well developed, so using the Salesforce on daily level with all of the skills, as I mentioned, needed.
So 4 people handling marketing automation platform in a bank which is the first in Slovenia, first, second, so it's about
First-ish.
First-ish. Which is how many customers?
Almost 750,000 PI customers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you cover B2B and B2C through the marketing?
We are now mainly covering B2C. B2B is planned for the future. B2C meaning so retail customers and also MSC customers, meaning SPs, small enterprises.
And the other perspective when we talk about people is actually there's a cross-department cooperation, which is again a big issue. Silos in data, we also have silos in people locked in their teams. To run a complex multi-channel campaign journey, you obviously need to cooperate with IT, probably maybe even with compliance, risk, with marketing, as you mentioned. So how did you approach this? How so that this cooperation runs smoothly, because obviously if you run a campaign or a journey, you cannot wait. It needs to be done when it needs to be done.
So first of all, from my experience, I would say IT security and DPOs should be our best friends, definitely. In terms of somehow formalizing the processes or the way of working, we, at the end of the day, we are a bank, so everything is formal and has to be formalized. We have set up some ground rules, which are also written down in a certain document, which we call CRM manual. So there we focused on two main things. One is how the process works, who are the teams involved, what is the information needed if we want to start a journey or a campaign, who needs to be involved, what needs to be provided. On the other hand, we also set some legal basis connected to GDPR, which is, has a big impact in our activities. So today I would say, of course, there are some bump roads from now and then that happen in reality, but other than that, we have set up a process across all departments, meaning managed by our team, involving marketing, products, digital team, DPO and IT security in exceptional cases. So when we want to do some campaigns which are maybe a bit on the edge, not totally in line with GDPR or other rules where we need their sign-off. So the process is aligned and is running smoothly. However, it took us some time to get there, definitely.
Okay, and when we talk about people, I will now introduce also Jasna, and she is the champion of Salesforce within OTP for sure, to walk us through a concrete example. So we were talking a lot now, but now it would be good to see exactly, how you create journeys, campaigns, what is the thought process behind it, what kind of campaigns you run. Also, I think Jasna will be able to tell us at the end also, how you measure KPIs and how you measure actually the success of each campaign. So.
Yeah. So thank you first of all. So I prepared 3 different kind of journey examples that we use, because each one of them has like some specific elements that improve the customer experience in different ways. So I thought we could go through it quickly. So the first one is a bundle onboarding journey. Barbara mentioned it briefly before, but basically it's triggered when a customer takes out this specific product, one of our bundles, and then it triggers sending of 6 different emails. In the first one, we welcome the customer, and in the rest 5, we introduce other different products that the customer doesn't have yet. So basically, after the customer is triggered into the journey, we also use decision splits, which are just basic like logic in the journey, to do some other checks. So we check their GDPR consents, which might change, their product ownerships. So for example, if a customer already has a consumer loan, we're not going to send them the email for the consumer loan, etc. And we also do like a simple SQL check in Automation Studio as well, just to make sure that if a customer received a similar email in a previous journey, again, we want to avoid that repetition, so we do that. So it's a very simple process in Automation Studio. So first you can see the filter runs. So we get the new customers who onboarded to the bundle, then the SQL query to do a double check, so we're not repeating ourselves, and then the audience enters into the journey. So just some simple examples of our emails, or prepaid cards, loans, and overdrafts. As I mentioned, if a customer already has one of these products, they just skip that email and re-enter immediately to the next one, so they don't wait 2 months, to the next one, but immediately go and check if they're eligible to receive the next one. And we also use pretty much all the time Einstein send time optimization. which is really fun to use for emails and for push notifications, which basically makes sure that your email or push, so basically your message, gets to the customer at the time where they're most likely to engage with it, which is a fun little feature. And the next journey that I would like to mention, one of our most engaging journeys or campaigns, I would say, in the last few months, was this personalized video marketing campaign, where we were basically trying to sell more consumer loans to customers who are eligible to take them out, of course. In this case, we used emails, push, and SMSs. So this was kind of the most personalized approach that we did so far. For each customer, we had basically generated a video and a unique URL link for them. An example of the email, for example. So we customized and personalized their name, how we address them, and then in the email, we used like a simple little code snippet with mScript, which is Marketing Cloud's scripting language, just to display like the call to action and the thumbnail personalized to the customer, and the link behind it, of course, as well. So when the customer clicks on the call to action, they get sent to the landing page where the video is. The scenes in the video, for example, are tailored to the customer. If the customer is a digital customer, the scenes are different. If they have certain products, the scenes are different. It includes like a informative calculation, so they know what kind of amount, etc., they can take out. So this was quite good. And in the journey for this, we also included like a re-engagement step, which is just very simple with dragging the engagement split into the journey. So if a customer, for example, didn't open the email after a specific time, didn't look at it, we sent them a push notification to try to engage them through a different channel. But if they opened it, of course, that's what we wanted, so they can exit the journey. So yeah, basically, Barbara also mentioned you guys set up a custom reporting for us in Salesforce, so we can simply just filter out and see engagement metrics, so delivery rates, open rates, click-through rates, unsubscribe rates, etc. We also, of course, track conversions. So in this case, we were quite happy with the results. And it kind of proved to us that like the more personalized approach is definitely the correct one. So when the content is relevant to the customer, then they're more likely to open, click, watch the video multiple times, take out the loan, etc. Yeah. And the last journey example that I'd like to mention is just like a ad hoc campaign journey example. We use different variations of this kind of process for different campaigns. So basically, again, one of the Einstein AI features was the first step here. So basically, frequency split. How we like to use it is we usually send down the customer who are saturated for emails or for push notifications, for example, down a different path. So we contact them via another channel to like avoid unsubscribes, and frustrating the client. So basically, Einstein in this case checks if the customer received too many emails from us in the last month, then they get classified as saturated. You just pull that into the journey and you're able to send them down a different path. And in this case as well, we use Viber messages and SMSs. So in this case, if the customer was saturated for emails, they received a Viber message, and after a while we checked if the Viber message wasn't delivered, then we had say an SMS like fallback option to contact them via a third option if the others weren't the best for the customer. And also we're using Path Optimizer more and more, which in my opinion is really fun to use. So in this case, we tested how different subjects affect the open rates of the emails. So Path Optimizer, I would describe like as a live A/B test. So in this case, we tested the subjects on 30% of the total segment for 1 day. And after that 1 day, Marketing Cloud, as we set it up, automatically chose the winner. And the rest held back 70%. Then after that 1 day of testing, were sent down the winning path. So you can see path A was the winning one in this example, and the dotted line for path B kind of means that it was the losing one. Path A, in my opinion, was probably the winning one in this situation because we included a simple like personalized element here as well, the calculated premium amounts of the customer, which probably, I'm assuming, kind of draw them in to click and check out more. So yeah, I hope this explains a little bit about different things, how we use Journey Builder, and how that helps us create good experiences for our customers.
Obviously, you have a lot of fun because you use this word so many times in Describe Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, it's quite fun. It's very user friendly, so it's nice.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, to conclude our conversation, maybe Barbara, let's look a little bit into the future. You are absolutely not stopping where you are at the moment. We are working on some new stuff already. So how do you, so Jasna already mentioned also when she said same time optimization in Einstein, this is obviously Salesforce AI technology, but in general, how do you see AI in your marketing journey? Also how you see, the further developed personalization, real-time trigger-based campaign. This is what we are currently working on.
So yes, definitely, we are not stopping here. As Jasna mentioned, we are using the AI functionalities in Salesforce for quite a while now. We also see some good results with that in the journeys and in the campaigns. As for looking forward, we are now very excited about the personalization studio, which we actually just kicked off with your team. So this year we will integrate the web channel, which we look forward to finally be able to track and catch also the visitors in that channel and engage them via the Marketing Cloud. Second thing is real-time data, as you mentioned. So this is a challenge that we have put our IT on to manage. So as I mentioned earlier, we are currently working with D-1 data. However, now we would like to switch to real-time data. I don't know, it's an example we really like to use in the bank. If a client buys a plane ticket or makes a reservation via booking, we would like to send him an offer for travel insurance immediately, not the next day or within 3 days when he already bought that with another bank or another insurance company, which will then also help us improve the trigger-based campaigns. And last but by far not least, operational CRM. So this is something that also we have on the wish list for quite a while. At the moment, we are somehow managing this with an internally developed solution, which is outdated and doesn't really suit the need anymore. So this is now something also within the OTP group that we are investigating, and it is on our wish list and plan for the future.
We will hear about it. See,
yeah, hopefully.
Operational CRM today.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe at this point I would also invite the audience to ask questions, comment.
We have one question from the audience. It is for Barbara. It is regarding the churn. How do you manage, how do you handle churn?
So actually churn, we are tracking churn regularly on the monthly level, both in terms of actually clients leaving the bank and also in terms of the opt-out in the campaigns. We are also using, which we didn't mention before, some predictive analytical models through which we are detecting actually clients which are most likely to leave us. So for those, we are then triggering some special campaigns within Salesforce to offer them some additional benefits to prevent them to leave. Generally, we don't have high churn rates overall, but with these activities, we see also additional success in lowering this number in the PI segment.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Any additional questions? You can also just congratulate Barbara.
Other question. It would be faster to ask than to write on this link. How long did it take you approximately to switch from the previous tool to the new one, at least for the main campaigns that you wanted to set up?
Actually, we were the projected timeline for Salesforce implementation was 6 months. However, we were able to start sending first emails after 4 months. It was really fast. This includes all the blueprint and all these formalities that are part of the project, of course. One of the reasons is, as I mentioned, that we had the data model already, so we actually just moved it from the previous tool to Salesforce. Of course, some changes or adaptation were made by the DVH team, but it was really fast and smooth process, so we were ahead for 2 months, and we started with this domain warm-up 4 months after the kickoff.
If I can add a sub-question, so how did you progressing with the channels? So what was the first channels that you started and how you were adding all other channels, and what is also now in the near-term future?
We started with emailing and SMSs. So this is what was first integrated within Salesforce. Then after a while we added push notifications via our mobile apps or for our mobile users. And just recently, so it's 1st of May, we started sending to our, messages to our client also via Viber. So in terms of channels, this is now, I think, where we will stop for a while. In terms of the integrating the channels, as I mentioned, via personalization, so we are aiming for web this year, and next year hopefully also mobile and social media.
I have 2 questions. So regarding the integration with the branches, you don't have it in plan, or it will come later?
Yes, we have integration with branches in plan in terms of operational CRM. However, today we have an internal application which somehow supports the operational CRM needs, and this is the application which is through which we manage clients who are in campaigns where they are called, either via the branches, which is more or less minority, and mainly through our outbound teams of our call center.
Do you post campaigns to the branches or call center, or they are just getting the leads? Is it integrated with marketing cloud?
They are getting campaigns via this internal solution.
Internal
Yes,
solution, so
yes.
you didn't integrate it.
No.
And what was the time period from introducing email until now? You said the latest one was with Viber.
Yeah. It was now till Viber. It was almost 5 years. So we started in 21 with Salesforce with emailings and SMSs.
Half of it was spent with compliance.
Yes. So every coffee or beer with compliance is a well spent moment.
Maybe just one question for Jasna regarding the first journey where you were presenting the onboarding for clients with one bundle. Offering the products with
this specific onboarding journey, no. But we do when we have separate campaigns for specific cross-sell to specific products. In those cases, we use predictive analytics, but in this journey, no, we don't.
Okay.
We have another one for Barbara. How many campaigns are you able to run now? You mentioned that you had 12 yearly at the beginning, and how many are you able to run now?
Actually, I just looked up this number yesterday. So in 2024, we sent via different channels that we are using over 350 different campaigns in 1 year. So
Quite a lot. And
quite a lot.
Can you compare the results from the previous campaigns and now?
It's difficult to compare since when we didn't have the tool, the campaigns that we were doing were just focused on calling the clients. So there was no other communication via any other channels. And at the same time, since that was new also at the time for our clients, and the client base was more or less under-penetrated with the product. So in terms of sales per se, those campaigns were successful. However, clients were not engaged as they are today. So, and they were not systematic in terms of some information and so on.
Okay.
We have another question for Jasna. I'm not sure whether this was the previous one. It is also related to onboarding process. What is the basis for offering products within the onboarding process?
So basically, we check if the customer doesn't have the specific product, we offer it through the email. If they don't, we skip that email and go straight onward to the next one. And as I mentioned, we also have different automations that run where we also offer the same products. So we want to avoid sending the same or very similar email to the customer in a short period of time. So for that we do an SQL check and exclude customers from receiving that offer if they already received the same or similar one in a short time span. So that's basically the logic. This is quite a simple onboarding journey, I'd say. So like I mentioned, we don't use predictive analytics in this case. We use it more in our ad hoc campaigns where we cross-sell for consumer loans, charge cards, etc. In those cases, we use predictive analytics.
But more predictive analytics will come now also with current project with module within Marketing Publish called Personalization Studio. So,
Yeah. Hopefully,
yeah. More of those micro moments also on the web where predictive analytics will be used. Maya, do we have time for more questions, or we have? So,
Barbara, you mentioned one very interesting thing when you're talking about how you started and everything. It's one part when you said about IML that helps to collect the data that you're missing. And can you say something about that? In which way help this new platform, and how you find the pain points where you're missing and how you get them there?
Yeah, so how it helped us before, we had a tool, we were mainly informing the clients about the missing documents or information that we needed from them via paper mail. So first of all, it was costly, it was inefficient, and so we started systematically with campaigns, with automated campaigns, where we are addressing clients in a certain time period before, for example, the personal document will expire, 2 or 3 different messages via different channels, and then after the document has expired again, and in each of the messages the client receives a call to action, whether he's digital or not, so where he can go. For example, he can go directly to our mobile app and upload the new document, or send it via email if he's not a mobile user. So with this systematic approach, where we are actually addressing them constantly, we have reduced this number of the missing documents significantly. So it's an internal joke that AML is one of the most successful CRM campaigns.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We have the same thing in Montenegro right now. By the whole country, all the banks needs to refresh all the data and everything. So it's a big.
Yeah. So it helps a lot in this area.
Another question for Jasna. How did the video campaign perform?
So as far as engagement, it was quite a lot better as far as like open rates, click-through rates, versus our like classic campaigns for consumer loans. I think like the click-through rates were like 4 to 5 times better for the personalized campaigns versus the classic one for email and SMS. So yeah, the sale kind of, the conversions were a bit better as well, but not as much as we anticipated. But definitely, yeah, the biggest like success was regarding the engagement. So the customers were really drawn to the content. Re-clicked it multiple times, rewatched it, etc. So I don't know. I hope this answers the question. Yeah.
I have an additional question regarding this video. How complicated is the implementation?
So we had the help of an outside vendor as far as like the rendering and the hosting of the videos goes, but they helped us through the process quite a bit. So it wasn't that complicated, honestly.
Added the URL of the video, which is on some link posted somewhere else, into the email.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
And this company, external company, helped you to personalize the video based on the class.
Yes. So we wanted to personalize some scenes. So for example, if the customer is digital, they can take out the loan digitally. So we want to send them through that channel, of course. And some scenes were tailored to that versus, non-digital to branches or the call center. We also had like call to action buttons in the video itself. So if a customer could click on a call me now kind of a button, and that was transferred to the call center as a hot lead, and they were called as soon as possible. So that worked quite well. And also some of the scenes were also kind of different based on if they had a specific bundle or not. Interest rates and stuff like that was different for them. So the calculations varied based on their like product ownership as well.
How much is the implementation? How much time?
Barbara, can you help
A
us?
lot?
2 months, about 2 months, yeah.
Do you still use the video, or this was some kind of a pilot try?
This was, it's unfortunately not automated. So it was more or less like a one-time campaign, or actually this was our second one. So the first one we had for pre-approved, which was more of a pilot campaign, and we were quite satisfied with it. So now the next one was for top-up for consumer loans.
Do you plan to continue using the videos?
That's more of a question for Barbara.
Yes.
To be honest, I'm asking because we are just offered a similar solution. So we are the bank here on the Croatian market. So we just got contacted by a company offering this this type of communication. So we are now thinking if we would go to this direction. So it's really interesting to get the information from you and your experience.
Yes, we plan to use it again. Maybe what changed from last year to this year, we had to change the branding because we had a merger in between and the name also changed. So this was a change. Also, we saw that maybe the video could be a little shorter. So this we will change in the next iteration. However, we will still use it, especially since the engagement metrics were excellent in the second time that we had it done.
Great. Any other questions? Okay. Barbara, Jasna are staying here, and the team actually from OTP are staying here also during the coffee break. I would like to thank you both for coming today here to Zagreb. I know it wasn't easy with your compliance. Sharing your experience with the community like this, so I really respect this. Thank you again. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you for having us.